Listening is not how you learn English. It is how your brain learns language. At first, that may sound strange. After all, most people believe that grammar comes first. Others spend years memorizing vocabulary. Some practice speaking every day. Yet millions of English learners still ask the same question. Why can't I understand native speakers? The answer may surprise you. Your problem is not that you are learning too slowly. Your problem may be that your brain has not received enough understandable English to build strong listening patterns. And the good news? That can begin to change today. Hello, my friend. Thank you for being here. No matter where you are in your English journey, I hope these next few minutes will encourage you and give you a new way to learn. This is not another video telling you to study harder. It is an invitation to learn smarter. Today, we will explore why listening every day is one of the most powerful habits you can build. You will discover what happens inside your brain when you hear English again and again. You will learn why progress often feels invisible at first, and why so many learners quit just before real improvement begins. Most importantly, by the end of this video, you will understand one simple truth. Small moments of listening, repeated every day, can create results that once seemed impossible. So don't listen to this video like a lesson. Listen to it like the beginning of a new habit. Because one habit, one day, one story at a time, can quietly change the way you understand English forever. Let's begin. Part 1. Why listening feels so difficult. Let me ask you one simple question. Have you ever finished an English lesson feeling confident, but later, when you watched a movie or listened to a native speaker, you understood almost nothing? If your answer is yes, you are not alone. In fact, this happens to millions of English learners every day. Many people believe they are not smart enough to learn English. Some think they are too old. Others believe they simply do not have a talent for languages. But most of the time, none of these things are true. The real problem is much simpler. Most learners spend far more time trying to remember English than experiencing English. They read grammar books. They memorize vocabulary lists. They complete exercises. All of these activities have value. But language is not only something you study. Language is something you hear, notice, and slowly absorb. Think about a young child. A child does not begin by reading grammar rules. A child listens, again and again, day after day. Little by little, the sounds become familiar. Then the words begin to make sense. Finally, speaking comes naturally. As adults, we often forget this simple process. We want fast results. We want to understand everything today. When we cannot, we become frustrated. So we stop listening. Ironically, that is exactly when we need listening the most. If this video is already helping you see English in a new way, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more slow, clear, and meaningful English stories for learners like you. And if you stay with me until the end, I believe you will never look at listening practice the same way again. Because in the next part, we will discover something surprising. Your brain is changing every time you listen, even when you think nothing is happening. That invisible progress may be the secret you have been searching for all along. Part 2. The invisible progress. Your brain is making. Now let's talk about something you cannot see. Imagine planting a small seed in the ground. On the first day, nothing happens. After 1 week, the ground still looks the same. Even after several weeks, you may wonder if the seed is alive at all. But below the surface, something important is happening. Tiny roots are growing. Slowly, quietly, patiently. Your listening skill grows in the same way. Every time you listen to clear and understandable English, your brain is collecting small pieces of information. A sound, a word, a sentence, a rhythm. At first, these pieces seem disconnected, but your brain is always searching for patterns. The more often it hears the same sounds, the easier those patterns become to recognize. This is why one day you suddenly understand a sentence that confused you before. It feels like magic, but it is not magic. It is the result of many small listening moments working together. The problem is that most learners stop before they reach this moment. They listen for 3 days, maybe 1 week. Then they say, "This isn't working." What they cannot see is that their roots are already growing beneath the surface. Real progress is often invisible before it becomes obvious. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you fall again and again. Then, without warning, you find your balance. Listening works much the same way. There is no single day when everything changes. Instead, hundreds of small improvements quietly become one big breakthrough. So the next time you finish a listening practice and feel that nothing has improved, remember the seed beneath the ground. Just because you cannot see the growth does not mean the growth is not real. In the next part, we will explore one of the biggest myths in language learning. Many people believe they must understand every single word to improve. That belief sounds logical, but it may be slowing your progress more than you realize. Part 3. Stop chasing every word. Let me tell you about 2 English learners. They both listen to the same 5-minute story. The first learner pauses the audio every few seconds. He writes down every new word. He checks the dictionary again and again. By the end of the story, he understands almost every sentence. But he has forgotten the story itself. The second learner does something different. She listens without stopping. She does not worry about every new word. Instead, she follows the main idea. She listens again the next day, and again a few days later. Each time, she understands a little more. Now here is the surprising question. Which learner is training the brain to understand real English? For many situations, the second learner is building a more natural listening habit. Real conversations do not wait for us. Movies do not pause after every sentence. People do not repeat every word because we missed it. When we always stop to translate, our brain becomes dependent on translation. Instead of listening to English, we keep returning to our first language. That habit makes listening feel slow and stressful. But when you focus on the main message, something begins to change. Your brain learns to stay with the speaker. It starts connecting ideas instead of chasing individual words. Of course, learning new vocabulary is still important, but not every unknown word deserves your full attention. Sometimes, the meaning of a sentence is enough. Sometimes, understanding 80% is more powerful than understanding 100% after 20 pauses. Give yourself permission to miss a few words. Keep listening. Keep following the story. Trust your brain to collect the missing pieces over time. Many successful English learners did not become fluent because they understood everything. They became fluent because they kept listening even when they understood only enough to continue. That simple change in mindset can remove a great deal of fear. And once fear becomes smaller, confidence begins to grow. In the next part, I want to share a simple daily listening routine that almost anyone can follow. It does not require hours of study. In fact, just a few focused minutes each day can create steady progress over time. Part 4. A simple habit that can change everything. Now you may be wondering, what should I listen to every day? The answer is simpler than most people expect. Do not begin with difficult podcasts. Do not choose fast conversations that make you feel lost. And do not think that longer practice is always better. Start with English you can mostly understand. If you understand about 70 to 90% of what you hear, you have found a good place to begin. That level gives your brain a challenge, but not so much that you become frustrated. Next, choose one short story. It can be 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Even 10 minutes is enough. The important thing is not the length. The important thing is repetition. Listen to the same story more than once. The first time, simply enjoy it. Do not worry about every word. Try to understand the main idea. The second time, notice words or expressions that sound familiar. You may recognize something you missed before. The third time, listen for confidence instead of perfection. You will be surprised by how much easier the story feels. This is not because the story has changed. It is because your brain has changed. Now imagine doing this every day, not for 1 week, not until next Monday, but as a quiet habit, like brushing your teeth or taking a morning walk. Small actions, repeated with patience, become powerful over time. Many learners wait until they feel motivated before they practice. But successful learners often do the opposite. They build the habit first. Then motivation begins to follow. Remember, you do not need to study for hours to make progress. You simply need to return day after day, even when the improvement feels small. Because every time you listen, your brain is becoming a little faster, a little stronger, and a little more comfortable with English. But there is one mistake that can quietly stop this progress. Many learners practice listening every day, yet they improve far more slowly than they should. In the next part, we will uncover that hidden mistake. And once you recognize it, your daily listening can become much more effective. Part 5. The mistake that makes people give up. Now let's talk about the mistake that quietly stops so many English learners. It is not a lack of time. It is not a lack of ability. And it is not because they are too old. The biggest mistake is expecting to feel progress every single day. Think about going to the gym. After one workout, you probably do not look stronger. After 1 week, the changes are still very small. But if you keep going for months, other people begin to notice the difference. Listening works the same way. Some days everything feels easy. You understand more. You recognize familiar words. You feel excited. Then the next day, you listen to a different story and suddenly it feels difficult again. Many learners think they are moving backward, but they are not. They are simply meeting new sounds, new voices, and new expressions. That challenge is part of growing. Real learning is not a straight line. It moves up. It slows down. Sometimes it even feels as if nothing is changing. Yet every listening session adds another small layer to your understanding. Imagine filling a glass with water, one drop at a time. One drop seems unimportant. 10 drops still look small. But eventually, the glass becomes full. No single drop created the result. The result came because every drop mattered. Your daily listening works exactly the same way. Never underestimate one quiet practice session. 5 focused minutes today may not seem important, but 5 minutes every day for 1 year can completely change your confidence. So, stop asking yourself, "Did I improve today?" Instead, ask, "Did I keep my promise to listen today?" That is the question successful learners answer again and again, because success in English is not built on perfect days. It is built on consistent days. And in the final part, I want to share the lesson that brings everything together. It is not about becoming the fastest learner. It is about becoming the learner who never stops listening. Part 6. One day you will thank yourself. Before we finish the main lesson, I want you to imagine your future. Picture yourself 1 year from today. Someone speaks English to you. This time, you do not panic. You do not search for every word in your mind. Instead, you listen. You understand. You smile. That moment may seem far away today, but every confident English speaker once stood where you are now. They also felt confused. They also missed words. They also wondered if they would ever improve. The difference was not that they were more talented. The difference was that they kept showing up. They listened on days when they felt motivated. They listened on days when they felt tired. They listened even when they believed nothing was changing. And slowly, without realizing it, English stopped feeling like a foreign language. It became familiar. That is the quiet power of listening every day. It does not ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be present. It does not promise overnight success. It promises steady growth for those who stay patient. From this day forward, do not compare yourself with someone who has studied for 10 years. Compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. If today you understand one more sentence, if today one more expression sounds familiar, if today you spend 5 more minutes listening than you did yesterday, you are already moving in the right direction. Never forget that language is not built in one lesson. It is built in thousands of small moments. One story, one conversation, one sentence, one listening session at a time. Perhaps the greatest change will not happen in your English. It will happen in your confidence. One day you will notice that you are no longer afraid to hear English. You will no longer think, "I hope they speak slowly." Instead, you will simply listen. And that is the moment when you will realize something beautiful. Your success did not come from one perfect lesson. It came from one simple promise that you kept day after day. I will listen today. That promise may seem small, but small promises, kept consistently, create extraordinary results. So, when you finish this video, do not wait for the perfect time to begin again. Choose one story, press play, listen with patience, come back tomorrow, then do it again. Months from now, you may not remember the exact day your English became easier. But one day, you will suddenly realize that it has. And when that day comes, you will smile and remember where the journey truly began. It began with one quiet decision: to listen today and to listen again tomorrow. Thank you for spending this time with me. I truly hope this video has reminded you of one important truth. You do not need to become perfect to make progress. You only need to keep listening. Some days will feel easy, some days will feel difficult. Both kinds of days are helping you grow. So don't be discouraged if your progress seems slow. Every story you listen to, every sentence you understand, every minute you spend with English is another step toward the confident speaker you are becoming. If this video encouraged you or helped you see English in a new way, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Here, we believe that learning English is not a race. It is a journey built with patience, consistency, and meaningful stories. Every week, we share slow and clear English videos designed especially for non-native learners who want to improve listening, vocabulary, fluency, and confidence naturally. So, if you would like to continue this journey with us, I would be honored to see you in the next video. Until then, be kind to yourself. Keep believing in your progress. Keep listening. Keep learning. And remember, a better future in English is not created by one perfect day. It is created by one small habit, repeated every single day. Thank you again for being here. Take care, keep smiling, and I'll see you in the next story. Goodbye, my friend.